Hey, everybody. Good morning. It's Sunday, December 15th, 2024. And it's Christmas time. So I'm going to give the room a minute to fill up. But I'm just meandering right now for those of you in playback. I started a little bit early. Not much. Anyway, okay. So what I'm going to do today, as usual, is we're going to do tarot spread and we're going to go over the transits this week. But before I do, I'm going to make a couple of announcements. I'm going to take off, Small Wildflowers and I are going to take off the last 2 Sundays of the year. I've been recording a lot of material for you. I'm doing a yearly summary month by month of the highlights. Good morning, Just Call Me C. Good morning, Patriot. Credit. I can't really read. Patriot Credit Art, I think it says. Oh, yay. Welcome, Canada. So good to see you all. Okay. So we're going to take off the next 2 Sundays. Good morning, Small Wildflowers. And we're going to come back in the new year fresh. Well, I'm not really going to be fresh. I'll never be fresh again. I'm only fresh on Zoom with the filter, and I like it. Okay, everybody. I hope you're having a good season. Hi, Catherine. I got to tell you, my little Luckster, okay? You can't see him. He's in the sun right now. Shall we show you the Luckster sleeping in the sun? Hi, DJ. See him over there? He's so happy. I met this woman, Martina, on TikTok through our trauma. I don't know if I told you guys that. Hold on, let me fix this. I want you to see my village too. And she just knows a lot about dogs. And I bought these mushroom supplements for Lucky, and I got him some rabbit hearts. I hope that doesn't traumatize anybody, as a treat. And we've gotten rid of all of the foods that he's allergic to. And it's like he's a new dog. Honestly, it's the greatest thing ever. I can't even believe it. We went through years and years of suffering. Well, he suffered most. Okay. All right. Back to business. And then I'm going to get serious. So, for those of you that are new to my show and to my work, this is based on whole sign Western astrology. So when I'm talking about a sign, I'm usually talking about your rising sign. But I really think that the moon is the most important planet to pay attention to. The more that I do charts and I observe people, the more I see them acting out their moons. So check your moon. If you don't know your moon, you can go to any one of the free birth calculators on the internet. You just need your time of birth. Also, once you get that, if you see that you have a late degree rising sign, anything like between 20 after 20 degrees, I would really look at the next sign over. I personally am a 26 degree Aries rising, so it makes most of my first house Taurus. My moon happens to be in Taurus, so I'm a ram and a bull. I mean, you just can't get around it. So check it out. Okay, so today Mercury is going direct, and Mercury is making a trine to Mars. Mars is retrograding in Leo right now and coming back into an opposition with Pluto. This is no joke, okay? I mean, they've done this dance already earlier this year in the fall. And that time, Pluto was in Capricorn. And this time, I think it's just a little bit more aggressive because the desire for freedom, the desire for independence, the desire for self-expression is going to be very strong. And then we cram all of that into our family's most stressful time of year. Oh, DJ, you ramming a bull in your 7th house? Wow, that's a lot. I have it in my 1st house. And I think it's kind of like, the 1st house, 7th house access is really about cooperation and harmony and about how to manage self-expression. Okay, Venus is growing into an opposition with Jupiter retrograde, and this is warm and fuzzy, but not warm and fuzzy enough to cancel out Mars and Pluto. Because I really want y'all to be aware of this, because as we get to New Year's Eve, literally it's conjunct. I mean, like 1 degree. And Mars is still in Leo. So it's just like, it's really an argument. It's big. It's a big fight. And I think that I just want y'all to be cautious about people around you. That's what I'm trying to say, because I'm not worried about y'all. I'm worried about the nutbags that aren't paying attention to their lives, and they're running on unconsciousness, and they're going to act out because this is anger. This is so much anger and frustration, and so be aware. Be aware. This is the other thing that's going on. The nodes are about to change signs, and they're going to go into the Pisces Virgo axis. So this is what I didn't finish because I'm so disorganized lately. I am right now working on a yearly for you all. Literally, I've recorded 3 of them, but I'm going to go and do the highlights for each month. So you can go look back at that throughout the year and see what's going to be popping up, because we're going to have a huge stuff going on in Pisces. And while I was filming the other day and I was doing Gemini, I was thinking about small wildflowers in that 10th house. So much is going to go on up there. And I'm going to do January too. And I've already done the Love and Money Tarots. So you're going to have a lot of content, even though we're going to have time off. So look for that, because the nodes are going to change. This is another video I'm going to do, because that's going to happen on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, depending where you are in the world around that time. And when the nodes shift, it's going to feel really different, because this particular axis, we go from the me and the we axis to the you and the suffering axis. I mean, it's really, Pisces is it's so empathetic and compassionate that it can feel drowned by the darker emotions. And now we see the North Node there, and all of this gets to be channeled into creativity. I really think that's the ticket here, and spirituality. And then the South Node is going to task each one of us to really look at where we are over criticizing ourselves, being Virgonian to the point of negativity, and then to release that. So this is all teeing up, and we can feel it all. What was I else going to say? Oh, I want to wish all my Sagittarius a happy birthday. And I want to wish my upcoming Capricorns a happy birthday, since you will not get your reading first. Good morning, Katerina. Good morning, Jules. Did I get to everybody? I hope I did. Okay. So let's see what else. Be sure to check out the full moon in Gemini video. That was today at 1:01 a.m. And I did a separate video for that. I really think we're going to find more and more going on about the United States and the news, and how the news is being dispensed, and where there's out of balance stuff. So that's another thing that's going to be going on. And I think that Pluto Mars opposition, while we don't always think of it in about the media, if we think about the 11th house, just naturally Aquarius, this is really about humanity, and about, how we're being potentially misled through fake news. So I think that something's going to pop up. Okay. Let's start with our Sagittariuses. I'm going to use the Gilded Royale deck today, and let's see what Spirit has to say for you this week. I don't normally watch the playbacks, but for some reason I watched last week, and I realized I do some really weird stuff. When I'm trying to read the chat, I don't know what I'm doing with my mouth. Something strange, licking my lips. I gotta remember to keep my mouth shut, smile. Yeah, there you go. The drones. I haven't had a lot of time to watch any news lately, and I was very much, I have to catch up, because I was between the research and getting prepared for 2025. So much stuff is going to go on. The beginning of the year is going to be really, really big. And then we have some big planetary shifts. Oh, all right, Sagittarius, let's see what Spirit has to say for you. We have the Death card in the foundational position. We have the Knight of Swords in the opportunity or the obstacle. We have the Page of Swords in the Angel's advice. And then we have the Page of Pentacles. Wow. Well, it is your birthday month and your solar return. And I think this Death card is about transformation of some kind. When I look at the Knight of Swords, okay, so this deck, he's a little scary. I've got to tell you. I don't mind showing you that. But there's something about this that has a nobility to it. The white horse is getting me. It's like right on the breastplate. I noticed the white rose, and I feel like there's something, a purity here that this transition stands on. And the Knight of Swords is very much an opportunity to go your own way. And in this deck, I can't help but notice that eagle. The eagle to me is so powerful in its representation of seeing things from a majestic point of view, from a bigger point of view. And as this character is literally on the edge of this cliff, it has sort of this fool's feeling, like, he doesn't know, neither one of them know they're going off a cliff. There must be something more here that has to do with faith. And I think it has to do with the beginning of more faith. I know that death card's pretty gnarly, but this is also, I think what it has to do is the beginning of more money. So this is where what I think. For Sagittarius, I think the death card is some sort of ideas. Your ruling planet is retrograde. It's going to make a trine this week to Venus. And I think that you may start having ideas about, what you want to do that's beyond how you're currently making money or how you're currently getting resources. And I say that because this is the beginning of bringing something into the earth plane. And to me, with this knight riding out of the deck, I'm being led towards something, and there's new ideas coming. Something. And also I want to, we don't normally think of Sagittarius as being argumentative, but, everybody's human. And whether you're Sagittarius, or not, I would be very mindful of arguments this week. That's what this also looks like to me. I'm going to pull one more card on that page. Yeah. There's going to be a decision. I pulled the Two of Swords. I think the decision is going to be about something to do with how you make money. There's a sense of entrepreneurship when I look at this. That Knight of Swords is very intellectual, and yet at the same time, he's got this sort of, Mars energy to me. As I said, the Fool card a bit. And I really think that this is about ideas, new ideas coming to the forefront and starting to implement those ideas into something. Like, let me put it this way, because I don't want to make it sound like, oh, everybody's going to run off and have their own job. Sometimes the idea is, what? I should connect with spirit about this thing that I want to manifest. I should be doing visualization, or I should be watching my verbiage, something about the way I'm thinking and what I'm speaking, and then coming to some decision that regards bringing something into the earth plane. And that just feels like money to me, or resources of some kind. So, you could leave your job too. That could happen. You could be done with something. There is a full moon in Gemini, and your ruling planet is in Gemini, and Mercury is in, basically going to be in an opposition, but not yet. So, all right. That was a little challenging, but I'm not surprised. Thank you, DJ. Hey, little grasshoppers. Okay, here we go. On to our Capricorns, rising, moon, sun, and stelliums. And again, I cannot emphasize the moon. The moon, the moon, the moon. We are, without a doubt, manifestors. And you cannot manifest. Look, you manifest through thought, but the thought is an offshoot of your feelings, okay? How you feel. So really, it's so important to connect with authenticity. When you have a wobble in your faith, then that's when you don't try to manifest, because you're manifesting on fear. That's when you say to spirit, help me anchor in my faith. Give me an experience that knocks my socks off so that I can truly believe what it is that I'm endeavoring. All right, Capricorn, woo. Our first tarot card is the Nine of Pentacles. That's yummy. Then we have the Emperor. Then we have the Ten of Swords and the Angel's Advice, and the Ace of Wands. Well, no need to worry. I don't usually think of Capricorn as tremendously dramatic, but we've been talking about Capricorn's experience of Pluto going through your first house. That's no joke. That's a real transformation. And now we see sort of this you've built something, you understand yourself, you've come into some sort of awareness. This is a card of self-made money, but it's not just the money. It's bringing abundance in many ways. And I think the reason that this is a female character in all of the decks is because it's a receptive energy. It's like there's a certain awareness of the ebb and the flow of the human experience. And so I think now we have this entrepreneurial emperor in the form of, like an Aries energy full of passion and fire. And then this 10 of Swords here is like, I almost feel like you worry a little bit of maybe about, okay, I should finish the sentence. Maybe you worry a little bit about, because there's two ways I can go with this. I think that's why I'm starting to stutter, because Capricorn can really be a boss and a strong leader. And then Capricorn can be riddled with fear and not want to move at all, feel very responsible and overly dutiful. So I really kind of think that this is more about being entrepreneurial, doing your own thing, being a pioneer, being a gladiator in your own life. And the angels are like, you can leave the drama behind. There's no need to worry. Nothing's going to hurt you. In this deck, the guy's not stabbed. In the other deck, he's stabbed. Now here come great inspiring ideas. And I just feel like there is this, I just feel like my Capricorns are sort of being, now that Pluto has moved out of your first house, which I would imagine, it's a complete rebirth of the self through your own perception and eyes. But now that it's moved into your second house, which is very entrepreneurial, being Aquarius, very futuristic, there's something about me or about you that makes me feel like you're going to get a lot of more inspired ideas. You're going to claim the baby goat within you. I really want to say that. And that you don't need to worry because Spirit has your back. Nothing's going to stab you. Well, this is the human experience. Every obstacle has an opportunity, and every opportunity has an obstacle. Good morning, Queen Leo. Good to see you in the room. All righty. Here we go. On to our Aquariuses. So my early born Aquariuses, I really want you to think about, that opposition with Mars, because, you're going to feel it, because it's going to be coming up on your ascendant or your sun or your moon, whatever you have in the early degrees of Aquarius within, Pluto's now at 0 degrees. Pluto's going to go up to, 3 degrees before it retrogrades. But it's going to stay at 0 degrees as Mars goes by it again, and then it's going to move forward. And then in I think it's next week, we're going to have a opposition between Venus and Mars. So again, I just want to caution you all that people are going to be maybe a little bit overly reactive. That is a really good word I want to use, reactive. Hey, Gita, so good to see you again. Welcome back. Okay, here we go, Aquarius. We have the 4 of Cups, the Ace of Swords, the 8 of Swords, and the 5 of Pentacles. This is not an easy spread. Something is missing in your heart. We see this, the 4 of Cups is traditionally where the character is focused in on what has been lost, on what is not full, and God is trying to hand a gift. In the Ace of Swords, there's new ideas and new thoughts. And yet at the same time, they're not thoughts about new things. They're thoughts about old things and how my mind has gripped me and held me hostage with going back and forth. We often, talk about Gemini considering things, but actually Aquarius can be 20 times worse than Gemini, because Aquarius can not only contemplate what's in the present, but what the possibilities are of the future. And then it can trigger anxiety because, it rules the nervous system, because this is a card of rejection and it's a card of fear. And this is Aquarius not being able to see the solution. because they're looking only at the problem. So I want to offer it this way, because again, when I tell you about these more challenging transits, they're really, oh my God, a necessary evil. That's kind of how I want to say it, because when Mars is transiting through Leo, it's about being the king of my own life. It's about doing my life with passion. It's about, we're talking about Aquarius, but Leo's your 7th house. So something's going on between the me and the we. I'm going to pull one more card, the 10 of Pentacles. Don't worry about money. I want to offer this for my Aquarius risings right now. If you're contemplating things and issues of the heart, the 4 of Cups, okay? Really looking to God. I need something filling my emotional body. Then the brain, just goes off a little bit on all the worry. And I think that's the Pluto Mars. And also Mercury's making a trine to Mars. So while that's a positive aspect, it's also sort of, Mercury is currently in Sagittarius. So, I'm kind of thinking to myself, I've got to start thinking, do I have faith in the future? Do I have faith in what I can create? Because this is just really difficult. It's very disempowering. It feels like I just can't find the solution. And for some reason, I think it just has everything to do with money. The Aquarius energy is you really got to channel its genius into something. Otherwise, anxiety does kind of come over it, because it just feels so unsettled. And I think that has a lot to do with, being ruled by Uranus and having a planet that's upside down. We also, the co-ruler is Saturn. So we've got 2 ringed planets. Once it's very sturdy and the other's topsy-turvy, and Aquarius can't decide what to do sometimes. And I think that's because there shouldn't be a decision of what to do. It's a decision of allowing yourself to be. And then the resources that you need, God and the angel will help show up, because the sheer focus can't help but bring that in. Okay. Because we're not going to be back for a couple of weeks. I really want y'all to remember that while I'm talking about the Pluto-Mars opposition that comes into at 1 degree exact on New Year's Eve here in the United States, that means Mars is retrograde at 1 degree of Leo, and Pluto is at 1 degree of Aquarius. At the same time, the nodes are about to change from Aries and Libra into Pisces and Virgo. And that south node is going to be hovering over the supergalactic center. I want to offer it this way, because when I talk about we are source energy, I mean it in a way that it's not like I have to go out and learn anything. It's not like I just have to understand that when I connect to the angelic realm, to whatever I believe there, and I put focus there, I'm going to draw the resources, whatever I want. And it's our opportunity as humans to really determine how authentic what I'm saying I feel is. Because I will tell you, so many times people come to me and they're like, I want to be in love. I want to be in love. And then they're like, I believe, I really believe. And then I'm thinking to myself, if you really believe, why are you even here? Because you wouldn't need me. Not that I don't want this job, but I think it's super important to pay attention to that, because you're going to step up. You're going to rise up as time goes on, all of you, meaning you're going to be more and more aware of your thoughts, and all the awareness you've been working on for all these years is going to start to manifest as Pluto goes through Aquarius. And it's going to be a real divide between, there won't be charities anymore, because people will understand that a charity is just pandering to a vibration that's not aligned. I've got the nodes. My node is at 3 degrees. My south node is at 3 degrees of Aries, and my north node is obviously at 3 degrees of Libra, and they're being nailed right now. I've been having the nodes going back and forth, and then coming up in moving forward, we're going to have a huge stellium in Pisces. Huge. And Mercury and Venus are going to be in there, and they're going to retrograde. It's going to be the first 4 months of the year. Stuff's going to happen. All right, here we go. On to our Pisces, rising moon, sun, and stelliums. If you have a stellium in Pisces, during the stellium in Pisces, you can bet something huge is going to happen. Don't be sucker punched. We don't want you to be sucker punched. We want to now take advantage of all the higher vibrations of all of this. The South Node in Virgo for Virgos will really mean, DJ, that if your sun is in Virgo, then it's going to be about really releasing that ego part of yourself that over criticizes, isn't good enough, isn't doing well enough. For Katerina, your Mars in Pisces, as the North Node goes over your Mars, it's going to really make you want to be brave with your individuality, your creativity, your spirituality, all the higher potential vibrations of that energy, meaning the Piscean energy. Sun and a stellium. What other planets? Are they generational planets or are they personal planets? I know somebody who has Cancer, and I'm fully expecting them to cross over during this time because they've got a Pluto on their Mars right now. They've got Neptune on their Sun, and then it's just gonna, it's cray. Oh, I'm doing it again. Tell me if I'm licking my lips while I'm reading the chat. My mother has a late degree Pisces rising. Okay, that's going to be a while for her if it's late degree, and that would make her mostly Aryan, Jules. Opposite my Saturn return. Venus, Pluto, and Uranus. Okay, so Pluto and Uranus, we'll call those generational, but Venus being exalted in Pisces and having, in Virgo. You're talking South Node. Sorry, my mistake. Okay, I have Pluto in Virgo, and I have Venus in Virgo. I have Uranus in Leo. So you must be just younger than me by maybe a decade or so. But this is what I think is going to happen. I think that when the South Node goes through Virgo, it's going to be for me, my 6th house of work, mostly 5th house as well. And I think it's about really stopping I can be very self-critical. I can go from feeling like I'm doing a great job to doing no job at all. I feel like a lot of it is going to be egoless to the things that I've been enslaved to within my mind and to any shifts within my career. And I mean that in a way, when the South Node went over my Mercury, I had changes in my clientele. And some people who went away, or they came, they didn't come as often for coaching. And then other things opened up. I've been doing a lot of work on creating content. And I have a gal who's working, by the way, on an Instagram account. So go do a like on our Instagram account. And so anyway, so I think what I've been going through with the South Node goes over Pluto is releasing to whatever transformations happen and whatever I am powerless over. And this person who's crossing over, there's a lot of things I think about, I could tell them this and I could help them this way, but this person doesn't want my help. And that's part of me being egoless because I'm a natural healer. Virgo is naturally a health, especially mental health. It's also the access of suffering, okay? Because if we think about Pisces, when it's really out of control, it's a total drug addict. It picks people it can hide with and party with in the closet and in the bedroom, in the hotel room, And this is extreme. I don't want to throw every Pisces under the bus, but, and that's how you get in your own way because you're not channeling your talents and your compassion and empathy into your creativity. And then the Virgo does just the opposite. It escapes in the fine details of being a perfectionist, of overly serving others and then becoming resentful that nobody appreciates you. So this is going to come up. And there's going to be an awareness to it. And the planets, like Venus for me in Virgo, is about my self-worth. It isn't about beauty. Venus isn't about beauty in Virgo, I don't think. Okay. So, oh, Wendy, good morning. I didn't see you in the chat. So nice to see you. Yes, we have a lovely room. I think we're the best tribe in the world. Okay, so let's finally get to our Pisces, okay? Because I think this is very, very significant, because I want to tell you this. You are going to experience a conjunction between Neptune and Saturn, and it's going to hang out, and it's going to go into the beginning of Aries, then it's going to go back into Pisces, the late degrees, and then travel together, going on for months. This is pretty significant, because if you think about it, both planets can be in their lower vibration really rough. Neptune being very fuzzy and blurry and, washing things away, and Saturn being really, kind of heartless about it. If it doesn't work for you, it's got to go. That's Saturn, if it's not sustainable. So now the same dynamics with these two planets hanging out. Now it's about spirituality. Now it's about being disciplined. And I've been talking about this for almost the full 2-year transit. So those of us that are putting in the awareness and the intention to create a strong connection with our divinity are going to take advantage of that as we move it into Aries. But it could be very challenging, because whatever ego crap is sitting at the bottom is going to bubble up to be looked at. And the ego is not the evil one. The ego is just the humanness of us. I think all of us should be aware, Wendy, because I think it's more about, it's kind of like knowing that you're going out in a boat, and you need to have certain equipment in order to traverse the seas with prowess and not drown or get thrown overboard or go into a hurricane accidentally. Okay. Because there could be hurricane, but it could be around you, not, we're all experiencing these transits. Wow. Okay. Pisces. Because when I'm sorry, I just keep jawing on about what's about to happen, because it's really significant for Pisces, because when Venus comes in, like in the springtime, the late winter, into your first house, it's going to retrograde there, and it's the exalted there. And then Mercury's going to do the same thing. And they're all going to be like hanging out. Preparing now could really help take advantage of even those retrogrades. Okay. Holy scamoli here. If I had a Pisces child, I would absolutely have them in every music art class there could possibly be, to keep them away from being a buzzhead, because I come from a family full of, spirits all the time. So you just got to be mindful, because, having a planet in Pisces or being Pisces is not negative, but if don't have strong leadership, it could really be hard on the poor human. Okay, Pisces, Ace of Pentacles. That's the beginning of something coming into the physical. The Six of Cups. This is a very lovely energy. We have the Three of Swords, and then we have the Seven of Pentacles. Okay. When I look at the Ace of Pentacles, we see the stag holding this huge pentacle here. And I really think that's about taking a leadership position about what you want in the material world. And as a result of that, really going back maybe in some ways to a more innocent way of being, because even though your heart could have been broken, we've all pretty much at some point experienced heartache. I feel like it's about assessing what you have, not what is wrong, but what is right. This Seven of Pentacles is like, literally, this is a money tree. And I think that, we've talked about that in Pisces rules music and lyrics and poetry, and writes the greatest love songs, especially when their heart is broken. So I think that there's something about standing in leadership this week, about really starting to think about what you want for the new year, and having the awareness that this stellium is coming into your first house. I think you can really do a lot. Saturn can bring reward after a 2-year stint in your first house. We always kind of skip over that, Saturn, ooh, bad, restrictive, authority, no fun. But Saturn gives a lot. When you remove the things that are wobbly in your life, the things don't stand the test of time, Saturn will give you time to enjoy the rewards. So I think you're going to be doing a bit of assessing of the things that you're creating and where you want to go. And I hope you use that time for creativity. And I don't care if you knit. I don't care if you like to do a deck of cards, dominoes. I don't care whatever the creativity is. It doesn't have to be, all the big five. I'm an artist. I'm a musician. Okay. Oh, see, I want to lick my lips when I'm reading. I hope everyone has a happy holiday. I got to tell you, the presents under all my fake presents really make me happy. They make me more happy than real presents. I don't know why. I think because there's so many more of them. And I can't tell you, my dog is so perfect. He hasn't even tried to mess with anything under the tree. I love him. All right, on to our Aries. Rising moon, sun, and stelliums. All right, I think we got a good shuffle there. Aries, our first card is Temperance. The second is the Moon. The third is the Seven of Wands. And the final is the Ace of Cups. This is about balance, my Mars-ruled people. Okay, so last week, and somebody made a comment, kind of an ally of mine, about knowing about people who walk around. The cement boots people, they started walking around this morning at about 6:30. They didn't get home last night till about, midnight. Crunchy, crunchy, crunch. And I got to tell you, I have to be very aware, because there's a part of me that wants to bang on the ceiling, but I don't do it. And you know why I don't do it? Because Lucky would have an anxiety attack. That's why I don't do it. But this is what I'm talking about, balance. You're Mars ruled. You're going to have a Pluto opposition coming up as the holidays get more. I'm hoping they go away, because sometimes they go back to wherever their kids are. I don't know. But look, here's Temperance. This is very Sagittarian. It's very much about you get to choose a path. We kind of almost see it hot and cold there. And then we have the Moon. Okay, this is right now, this is emotional to me. This feels it's Piscean. And here, this is self-defense with the Seven of Wands. In the final position is the Ace of Cups. I think that my Mars-ruled people, and I'm very aware of this for myself, I'm very much being tasked to address where my angers and my resentment and how I act them out, and if I act them out. And I feel like on some level I've come so far in my awareness that if I do anything stupid, because I have fantasies about dropping Slurpees on somebody's porch, oops, sorry, things that you like, but it has to remain a fantasy sometimes when I'm angry, because this literally looks like the Ace of Cups is saying that all of your bounty and all of your benefit will come from your balance. And here's Pluto bringing up that. This is the thing about Pluto. We could say, oh, Pluto opposing Mars. Pluto's like doing something to you. No, Pluto is not doing anything to you. Pluto is illuminating. An opposition, if we think about when we have a full moon, and I know this is not scientifically sound, but I'm just going to say it anyway. When the sun and the moon are in opposition, the moon is catching the sun's light, right? So while these two planets are in opposition, while there's no light, because Pluto's way out there in the dark. And that, to me, makes me feel like it's bringing out in Mars whatever the darkness is that's sitting underneath. So now, because of that, that you get to come from love. That part of the reason why you chose to be Mars ruled in this lifetime is so that you could choose love. You could choose not to love other people, but to love thyself. So thyself does not live in a constant state of fire and anger. Hey, Pauline Kennedy. Welcome. I don't have a second bedroom. I have one bedroom and it's dark and cold in the afternoon. I mean, after say 9 in the morning. Not cold, but dark. I've been playing with new decks. I'm trying to inspire myself, and I really like these decks. Each one brings something new. I also want to say this too, because before I end with my Aries, and I'll move on, Mars will move back into Cancer. Do you see the crab? Okay, in this moon, you are going to get crabby. Your emotions, you may, and the Cancer rules home. Now, this isn't going to be until I think January, but just again, being mindful, because the crab also represents the fourth house. This moon is actually Piscean, but it's catching me that the Mars retrograde, being your ruling planet, just to be mindful of war in the homeland, war in the house, war during Christmas. Be mindful of cousins or siblings that irritate you, and put on your neutral hat. Dare I say, eat a gummy if you have to deal with people, because I just can't guarantee they're going to be easy. Mars, Capricorn. Karma. Oh, yeah. Mars in Capricorn, but it's exalted. Mars in Capricorn is very good, I think. It depends on the aspects, though, because it can make you, if you've got, like, I know somebody who has a T-square of Pluto and their sun are in opposition, and it T-squares Mars in Capricorn, and that's not easy, because they're going through continual ego deaths in the public eye, because they're too hot and the thing about Mars ruled people, they can also start something and not finish it. They'll get like, oh, I didn't get my results quick enough, and they'll want to move on. And if Mars is in Capricorn, Mars is actually asking you to stay the course, whether you get results right away or not. Oh, I'm glad you took it the right way, because I'm literally serious. I know, I'm literally serious about that. Like, I don't think that's such a bad thing. Okay. Let's go on to our Taurus, rising moon, sun, and stelliums. Oh my gosh. Okay, so sage your property. Go around your house with a sage stick and just do your best to, clear all the negative energy out, because I literally sometimes I think that while I'm trying to focus on being calm, I'm bringing in situations that irritate me so I can practice being calm. And I don't want to do that either. I'm like, no, just get me past that stage. Okay, here we go. We're on our Tauruses, rising moon, sun, and stelliums. I would, DJ, I would walk through my neighborhood with a sage stick. The only problem is I don't know if it would stay lit the whole way, but I'd have my little abalone shell. Yeah, I've done it in my building before. When nobody's around, I go into the foyer and I go into certain people's homes, and I'm like, or their front door. Whoosh, whoosh. Now, spirit doesn't mind, but then I want to take the Slurpee with me and knock it over. I want to offer this. We're not being tested, because we can't feel our own evolution unless we walk through a similar situation and then purport the higher vibration. So it's not technically a test. It's an opportunity. Oh my gosh, I know there's some weird stuff going on here. Okay, let me get to my Tauruses before they're like, when I'm going to grow old here. Okay. We have the Two of Cups. This is lovely. We have the Three of Swords. We have the Emperor. And then we have the Moon. Taurus, you are such a loving, loyal sign. You really are. I know, because I have a Taurus moon. And here the Two of Cups is an offering of love, okay? And I feel almost as if, love... I want to offer it this way, because I don't know that this is about an actual intimate love situation as much as it feels like assessing your ability to receive love, to take it in, to allow the exchange of energy and the bounty. Because if you've been hurt, you may be recoiling from it. You may be like, I don't know if I want to bother, because this is this Three of Swords is a card of heartbreak, and then we have this Emperor coming out again, but it's reversed. So I think this time they're asking you to be brave and entrepreneurial and move past this heartbreak energy, because now we have the Moon again, and that's that Piscean energy, that empathy for, like, I almost feel as if my Taurus is, because I don't know what Uranus has been doing, if we think about that. You're also experiencing a square as Pluto's entered Aquarius. So those of you who have early degree Taurus energy could be feeling that as well. Because when I look at this moon, I feel like there is something about an illusion. And I think the illusion is you can't protect yourself in love. You just have to be brave and go for it. Because if you really love somebody, heartache is just part of the story. It's just part of the journey. Because with that and the opportunity, the obstacle, it almost feels like Taurus is like, doesn't feel like it's active. It feels like it's based on something from yesteryear, a memory, an experience or something. I'm not quite sure. No, never ask a Taurus to let it go. But my new coined phrase, we can let it grow, because Taurus is the farmer, the agriculturist, the grower. So that's my new thing. I'm going to always stretch to extract wisdom from something, because just to have a negative experience for the sake of it is bullshit, and I won't do it. And if God wants me to do that, if there is actually a God that says, well, you have to just walk through that, I'm going to be like, get your butt over here. We're going to have a conversation, because that's my Taurus and my Aries. No. So I have to think that it's me that made me this. Taurus is super sentimental. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, you guys, I watched the greatest movie last night. It's also why I'm a little puffy today. The Family Man. I think it's from the late 90s with Téa Leoni and Nicolas Cage. It's such a great movie to watch if you want to watch a Christmas movie that isn't too Christmassy. Yeah. But I really think that this is about opening your heart up to love, Taurus. And even if your heart has been broken in the past, that was then and this is now. And Uranus is probably trying to liberate something. I know Uranus is at 23 degrees right now, retrograde. So, yeah, if you have any planets squaring or opposing that, it's going to muck something up. Not muck it up. It's going to just try to turn it over on its ear. Okay. Here we go. On to our Geminis, rising moon, sun, and stelliums. I'm going to do a weird little, I'm just going to do like I'm in Vegas. I can't do this with all the decks. I just want to make sure I get a good shuffle. Okay. Our first card is a 7 of Pentacles, Gemini. Then we have the Page of Wands. Then we have the King of Pentacles and the 5 of Wands. All right. Well, this looks like you're assessing very much a couple of things. The 7 of Pentacles is a great card. It's literally the money tree is back, and we're looking at what are we going to pluck from the tree and what are we going to let continue to grow. This is probably has to do with your career. So what do we do? Gemini rising, doesn't that make Pisces your 10th house? Isn't that where that stellium's coming in? Here's new inspired ideas about how to make money. Okay. Now, this is the thing. The ideas may not be, again, I don't want to turn everyone into an entrepreneur or content creator but there's so many people can, because it could be that you're pitching yourself something, because this is an interesting energy to finish with. This is sort of, oh, Katerina, you are right. These are the kind of things I don't know how to do. And when I talk about the cards, because this is about competition, and I'm going to pull one more card for Gemini because I actually don't feel a sense of competition. I feel that you might be thinking there's a sense of competition, but I don't know if I think there is. No, I want to offer this because everything that we're doing these days, people, I believe, are resonating with the authenticity, because here now we see, don't worry about the competition because there's money, potential money, and also standing in leadership for what you want. I get to look at that. I just spend money on Amazon. I never think about making it. Try not to get myself fired. I don't think you're going to get fired. Although they do tell me, meaning they tell me that you do pop off every once in a while, like a little Miss Know-It-All. But I think you are a little Miss Know-It-All, and they need to listen to you, and you should capitalize on your leadership. I say that with love because I'm a little Miss Know-It-All. So you've got to be a little Miss Know-It-All because we've been working together for years, and the law of attraction would have it no other way. Yes, exactly. That's what I say. I was only wrong once, and that's when I thought I was wrong. Oh, except in my love life. Oh God, I'm all wrong in that all the time. Exactly. Approach and attitude. Because that's your being energy, Wendy. That's the be do have. Okay. All right. We're going on to our Cancers, rising, moon, sun, and stelliums. Must feel good to have that opposition of Pluto out of your first house. That's nice. I got to tell you guys, those of you that have listened to me for a while, if I would have known all the Pluto conjunctions I was going to have in my youth, if I would have been an astrologer back then, I probably would have been like, oh my God, someone check me off this planet. It's going to be terrible forever. And now, now that I look in hindsight and I recognize that the squares are coming in, because, once it moves off one thing, it's either opposition, a square, a sextile, a trine. There's always some kind of conversation. So what I'm trying to do is extract the wisdom from the conjunction and then apply it during the squares, because Pluto squared my Mars, Pluto squared my Sun, Pluto squared my ascendant. It was like, are you kidding me? All right, here we go, Cancer. Oh, yes. But I want you to think of it as a shade phase. So every time we're in the sun, if we're in it too long, we need a little shade. I literally was praying last night for peace of mind with spirit, to just be comfortable in my own skin. I am, but then I'm not. I just don't know if being comfortable in our own skin is even a human possibility. All right. Ooh, Cancer, the Empress is a beautiful energy, very Venusian. The Knight of Cups, love. The Queen of Swords, and then the Eight of Cups. This is interesting. I just heard something has changed within me. Something is not the same. I'm tired of playing by the rules of someone else's game. Okay, so here Wicked is in my head. You must be evolving somehow. Pluto oppositions are maybe harder in some ways than a conjunction, because conjunction you infuse the energy, you kind of become Plutonian. In the opposition, Pluto's coming at you. So here's the Empress. Something has changed within you. Something is not the same. You're tired of playing by the rules of someone else's game. You're ready to claim love, to claim what you want, to claim, you're aligned somehow, and you're willing to walk away from that which no longer serves you. Congratulations, Cancer. Congratulations. Because, it takes a brave heart to follow one's heart. Welcome, Sunny. I was talking to a client yesterday, and I said, if you think about it, the runaway bride or groom is really very brave, because they've assembled a room full of people, and then they've recognized that they're about to make a big mistake. And rather than go through 5, 10, 15 years of that mistake, just so the audience won't be freaked out on the day, you run. So something is, and I want to offer this too, because Venus rules so many things that will make you feel a sense of of abundance, a sense of thriving, a sense of comfort. So I think that's what you're going to walk away from, anything that does not serve that end goal. I'm just going to pull. Oh, okay. I had to pull one more. I just kept getting the urge, because I feel like I want to let you know what the momentum is for this bravery that you're doing as you walk away from that which is not really serving your long-term happiness. There's the wish fulfillment card. That's wonderful. In this particular deck, it's not just your wish, but the endless bounty of it. There's 9 cups and there's 4 barrels of wine, and the wine is flowing. So Cancer, stand in your Venusian energy. All right, let's go on to our Leos. I really, the thing I think is most exciting about this particular time and transit of, because Gemini, Uranus is going to move into Gemini, and that's going to be a little toe tip, and then it's going to retrograde back into Taurus, but then it's going to come in, it's going to hang out in Gemini for, I don't know, till 2032, 2033. At the same time, it's trining Pluto in Aquarius, or it's going to be making favorable aspects to Pluto. Something's going to happen in technology that's going to be so amazing, or so akin to the 90s, that a lot of people's careers are going to open up in ways we cannot imagine right now. What do you do for a living? Oh, I test, holographic eyeglasses, or, I don't know, weird stuff. So many things could be done. Let's look and see, Leo, what's going on for you. Leo rising is a very powerful sign, because, again, when you think about it, if you look at Placidus, I couldn't help but think that, Donald Trump has a 29-degree Leo rising, which is on Regulus. Okay, that's why he acts like the emperor of the world. And it makes his first house Virgo. So when you're looking at your Leo rising, look at the degree, because that, whatever the degree is, we want to know what's pushed back into the 12th house of not seen and the invisible. And where, because lions need to be seen. They need to be on a stage. And if you're somehow got planets back in that 12th house, you're meant to bring them into the first house. I know that sounds kind of funny, but it makes sense if you peel it back, because that 12th house is your ancestral soul. It's your own personal Akashic records. Okay, here we go. The 2 of Swords, a decision will be made for my Leo risings. The Hanged Man, this has been contemplated. There's been a pause. They've been swinging back and forth. There's our 3 of Pentacles. There's been something, and our Leos are going to choose love. That's what it looks like. Because the 2 of Swords is a Libra energy. It's that first, cardinal energy of the swords. So here we go. I wonder if little grasshopper's still hanging out in the room. Leo rising. Now, the Hanged Man. I'm tired. This is what it feels like. I'm tired of swinging back and forth. I'm tired of feeling like whoosh, whoosh. Now, I only want things that are working for me, working with me. This 3 of Pentacles is Mars in Capricorn. This is what I think really believe about Mars in Capricorn, that Mars comes into Capricorn with a sense of reverence and awareness of his evolution. So when he comes in and he's being celebrated because he's exalted in Capricorn, he's literally gone out and been a hero versus being a maniacal, warmongering, angry being. And that's why when I say all of this, I feel like there's love on the table here. Mars in Capricorn. Spirit is saying being brave in how you make your decisions rather than just swinging back and forth. I have to pull another card. I just feel it. And there's Temperance. So when you make a decision to come from love, that love can be, this is what I want to say. Love is never like, oh, I'm going to love you through this situation. If I love you, you'll be better. No, no. I have to love me and show you how love looks, healthy boundaries, my Leo risings, and everything will feel better. You'll feel better. No more swinging back and forth, blah, blah. This guy's getting nauseous. It's time to make a decision. And the decision is to love thyself and to trust thyself. I like that. That is very sexy sounding, Wendy. I'm on fire. Can you handle it? Yes, I think that's awesome. Because, life should be passionate. So I watched this movie, The Family Man, last night. I don't know if any of you have ever seen it. Have you ever seen it? It's about a guy who, he's with his college sweetheart and he's going on an internship. He's going to be gone a year. And she's afraid that the year will change their relationship. They won't survive it. And then we go on a tale. And it's really a beautiful tale of the difference between money and love, and money can be lonely. You can have a lot of it, but it can be very lonely. So it's a great movie and it's free on demand if you have, cable. So if you have cable, who doesn't have cable and who calls it cable anymore? I just dated myself. But anyway. All right, we're on to our Virgos. Rising moon, sun, and stelliums. You've got the South Node coming into your first house. This is going to task you to really stop criticizing yourself and others, being too nitpicky, being too much of a perfectionist, being too hard on yourself. Negative Nelly, right. All righty. We have the Eight of Cups, the Tower, the Six of Swords, and the Devil. Woo! Something, we're walking away from anything that is pulling me back, and I got to look. Okay. All right. Virgo, I really want to offer this. This South Node is going to work you over a little bit, and I mean it in the sense of, practicality and logic and realistic things are all based on a human construct. And that human construct is shifting, literally. Like the way 2 years ago, we all had to go, well, not now, 2 years ago, 6 years ago, we all had to go to work. We had to go into our offices. If you were sick, your boss would get mad at you for calling in sick. Now, if you're sick, you're like the plague and you have to, so much is changing. So this is really, about walking away from that which does not serve you on a big, big scale. Because you're going to have a moment where you're like, I'm done. I'm not going to do anything that doesn't bring me peace. I'm moving away from it. A lot of tarot card readers think that Uranus is the Fool and Mars is the Tower. I absolutely think it's the opposite, because Mars is the pioneer. Mars is the one that goes on the adventure. Uranus is the one that blows up, the militia, the rebel. And that's exactly what's happening. Your angels are saying, no longer will this serve you. It won't serve your mind. It's time to release the shackles and the burden. The shackles and the burden. So let's see what happens when the South Node is in Virgo. We're stretching for the North Node. We're stretching for a sense of divinity within us, a sense of creativity. And if you're a creative Virgo, you're, highly artistic, then quit picking at your stuff. Enjoy the process. Yeah, Tower's totally Pluto. Absolutely. Well, no, it's Pluto, but it's because Pluto's really the death card. This is actually Uranus, but I don't know if the guy makes it, down. So there is a part of that feels a little. What else is interesting in this particular deck as I look at it is I almost feel like his clothes got blown off of him. So there's a vulnerability that's being exposed. That could be the Pluto energy, DJ. I'd totally go there because somehow when the tower got hit and the whole crown of the facade got blown off. Welcome, Teri Hoover. Okay, and then So this is a little bit of a challenge, because there's that devil card, and that's responsibility, that's Capricorn, that's authority, and I just don't think you're going to want to do it anymore. You're going to move away from it. I don't want to do things the hard way anymore. And that's what I think the next year is going to be about, redefining where you have inadvertently been making choices or projecting planning based on a human structure that is shifting. And I really think that stretching for that sense of connection that Saturn has been tasking you with for the last 2 years, as Saturn has been going through Pisces. So Saturn has been teeing you up, Virgo, to recognize where there's been authority or repression or limitation beyond your enjoying your human experience. And something's going to change that. Now, when we look at the Tower in the opportunity, the obstacle, this may very well be an emotional thing. You're like, inside, I can't do this anymore. And it could be that you decide that I'm not going to emotionally invest in these people anymore. I may do my job, I may do what's required of me, but I'm not going to care as much as I used to. I have Venus in Virgo. So every job I ever had, people would say, "Oh, are you an owner here?" Because I'm just bossy. I've got the Taurus thing, I got the Aries stuff going on. But there were times when I just, I would give and give, and then I was like, forget it. I don't care anymore. And people could really tell the difference too. Virgos, I don't know what generational Virgo means. I think I have Pluto in Virgo, so I think that would be a generation that we're here to break up the slavery of the mind. Yeah. Okay. All right. We are on to our Libras, rising, moon, sun, and stelliums. If you have a Libra stellium, you are such a popular human. People will just love you because you'll be nice and sweet. I have 2 planets in Libra, and they're both in challenge. My sun is in detriment. No, my sun is in fall, and my Mars is in detriment in Libra. Oh, Wendy, that Pluto and Uranus is generational. That's going to, it's revolutionizing. The Pluto's bubbling up the toxic psychology and Uranus is like, I'm not doing that anymore. 3 in Libra, are they Mercury, Mars, the sun, the moon, Venus, any of those? Saturn even, or Pluto? I'm not Pluto, Jupiter. Okay, Libra. What's up for this week? Okay, I think we got it done there. All right, we have the 4 of Pentacles, the 6 of Swords, the 8. Do you see how much I freaking shuffle? Look, the 8 of Cups is coming up again. This is a theme. And there's the Knight of Wands. The 4 of Pentacles is traditionally a card where you're feeling stuck. You have resources, but you're feeling tight. You're feeling you don't want to. The guy is usually like, he's got the coin on his head and he's got them under his feet and he's all awkward. But in this particular deck, it almost looks as if he has coins and he's offering them, which I think is interesting. Because, I almost feel like that is spirit offering to unstick you as you move into an area that is moving. Both of these energies are moving into smoother waters, walking away from something that's disruptive. And in the final position is the Knight of Wands. And I really think, I don't know why for me, I'm a Libra sun, but I feel like this is telling me I've mastered my Mars energy here a little bit, or I'm starting to recognize when to, stand and fight and when I'm not. And I do think that having the South Node traversing through Libra, and right now the South Node is on the supergalactic center. And that is a point in the Shapley cluster that offers us opportunity to see ourselves as source energy. Now, this doesn't mean you have to do everything yourself. It means that as you put focus into something, the universe will click in and it'll start to bring things to you. And that's where the individuality within the Libra energy comes in. The two we's make a, or the two me's make a we. So I think for my Libras, I want to pull another card for some reason. I'm going to look. Yeah, I want to offer this because if you felt stuck for some reason, if you have felt like you've been around people who are quarrelsome or fighting and you decide to walk away from it and feel very passionate, you have every right to do it now. Okay, I'm walking away. I'm moving away. Again, there's 3 indications of moving away from argumentative people that don't serve your peace of mind. Because you know what Libra can do? Libra can be like, oh, it's okay. I don't want to make waves. So I'll just put up with that pushy little bitch who always comes in and diminishes me at the party. She brags about herself or whatever. Something's going on here. You're unsticking yourself because it's definitely unsticking something in the material world. So maybe you're just not going to let anyone mess with you anymore. That's a lot of stuff in your 4th house, which is the house of home. So very much shaping you, that Libra. I wonder if you were, and Saturn is exalted in Libra. Yeah, exactly. I think it's all in the approach, I really do. It's sort of that, when you were younger and when you would break up with someone and you're like, it's not you, it's me. That might be the approach. It's not you, it's me. I have a cold. I'm really not about a little white lie lately because the planets are so cranky that I feel like if you try to tell someone your real truth, they might just crawl up your butt. So I'd rather just scoot out. That could be my Libra energy. Because, once I get on a roll with my truth, it might not stop. Really, you just bug me and I don't want to talk to you. Okay, let's go on to our Scorpios and then we'll be done for today. It's very expeditious to get this done with just this one deck. I get to chat. Toxins come in so many ways because I'll tell you, I was thinking about this last night when the crunchy people got home and they were like, blah, blah, blah. And I will tell you, I've been a little bit lately heavy with the wine, meaning I feel like every night a glass of wine, 2 glasses of wine is my new, I started back up again. I want to start down. And I noticed myself, I don't act out, but I was like, oh God, here they go again. And so to me, my thoughts, here they go again, is a toxic thought. Even if they're doing that, the idea that I bring in their whole history of crunching up above me. So that's what I'm trying to be aware of and shift. So I have the awarenesses. And then I say, okay, Spirit, give me that peace of mind. And then send them home for a month so he can hang out with his grandkids or something. I don't know. Okay, our final sign. Oh. And that would be Scorpio. And if you think about it, Scorpio, your 2 ruling planets are literally like every time I think about this opposition, I hear dun 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 dun. It's something from West Side Story, and I see the two gangs, whatever, dancing back and forth, and so because I kind of want to put it that way for you, because rather than looking at them fighting, angry, we could play it out in a different way. If you haven't seen West Side Story, it's another old movie. Check it out, because with both of your ruling planets being cranky, you could just feel free floating cranky. You don't even know why. And they're in fixed signs right now. That's the other thing I didn't even mention. On New Year's Eve, they're both still in fixed signs. So whatever the cranky is, it's like, I'm not changing my opinion. Ooh. I'll tell you, I'm going to bed early on New Year's Eve, I think, just to wake up when it's over. Thank you, Wendy. I'm so glad. I really think we have the greatest tribe. We just, and I'm having more fun. I'm being able to chit chat more lately. I think it's because I'm tired of taking everything so seriously and trying too hard. That could be Venus and Virgo, trying too hard. Okay. All right, my Scorpios, I think we're almost there. All right. Oh, the Death card. That's you, Pluto. Then we have the Two of Cups, the Three of Pentacles, and the Lovers card. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. The Death card is in the foundational position, and the Lovers card is in the final position. So this is not the death of, this might be the death of your bad attitude. No offense. Love you so much. But if Scorpio, okay, God, I love Scorpio, but Scorpio out of balance is honestly one of the hardest things ever, because you will just cut people off and disappear on them. You will just, that part of you that can turn to ice. And I think something's happening where you're shifting about love. I think this Death card is really, if you think about the Death card, it's a 13. The 1 and the 3 reduced down to a 4. So not only are you breaking the box on your love life, I think you're wanting to build a new foundation, because now here's Spirit offering an exchange of love, but they're also asking you to be a team player. And the team player is about not bringing your history into today. Because look at that, the Lovers card. This is a Geminian energy. It's about choice. And this is a sexy one. In this particular deck, I mean, this is passion. In some of the other decks, they're just standing there, but here it's like, and I think that's what Scorpio is, so passionate. I got to pull one more, because I got to find out if this is actually like an infusion of passion is coming up, or they're asking you to be ready to receive it. Ooh, it's about ready to receive it. Something's coming in. Look at this again. Both the female receiving energies here, hold on, look at their positioning. They're both looking up. Now, yes, she's looking up at her chariot guy, her gladiator, but there's a vulnerability to both positions. So I think this is about the death of your dark side, to quote Wendy, and then to allow yourself to, this is what I want to offer you. You're not really being vulnerable to somebody else, because you are, especially Scorpio moon, super, super, super duper, duper, super, super intuitive. And when you're pissed and dark, you miss it, right? But I think that happens because that inner knowing sometimes is telling you, oh, you might have stepped in it. You picked the wrong person again, or you're going back around the mulberry bush. But now I think there's something where you're really willing to say, okay, Spirit, I'm ready. I'm ready to receive my person. And I want to offer this too, because I'm an old woman. I don't really not at the heightened state of passion anymore. Maybe somebody could stoke the flames. It would be rather interesting, because I think you'll need flint and a lot of, dry something to get it going. But companionship at a certain age is a nice thing. North Node, you're stretching to be powerful, Katerina. You've been, your South Node in Taurus would make you be very practical on some level. If it isn't, if I'm not safe, if I don't have enough possessions. So this is the exchanging your psychological and you might have also, oh, Lucy Rose, hi. You might have also experienced some kind of loss depending upon the aspects to your South Node, but you would tend to have Taurian tendencies. So you're probably super creative, and you probably could be a great chef, or, agriculturist or craftsman of some kind. But also there's a when you have a North Node in Scorpio, you're stretching to experience that intuitive part of yourself that does, and to watch how, your psychology, your imprint sits behind your decision making sometimes. Okay, so that's it. We did it. We did it in an hour and 20 minutes. I think this is about reasonable. So yay, everybody. Again, we are going to take off, me and Small are going to take off the next 2 Sundays. We'll be back in January. There's going to be a ton of content coming out. You're going to see a full year for each one of your rising signs broken down by month. So you'll know what the highlights are coming up. I'm going to try to get a full-blown January done, but I'm going to do that one last. We're going to do, there's already the Love and the Money tarots have been done, so they'll be posted soon. Then you have the full moon in Gemini. Check out that video. We're going to have the nodes changing video. So there'll be lots of content coming out while we're not here on the lives. So we're going to give Small some real time to start to prepare for her Pisces stellium coming up in her 10th house. Okay, everybody. I love you so much. I pray for you every day for your happiness, your health, and your highest and greatest good. So if you haven't already liked and subscribed, of course, do that. And I'll see you the first Sunday in January, everybody. I love you all. See you soon.